Welcome to All Things Possible. I'm Kris Barney and I'm thrilled to have you here with me. This week we're going to talk about a different topic, of course, because we usually do. We are getting really close. In the next few days we have a big holiday about all of our freedom. And in here in America we have a holiday where we celebrate the freedom that we have, the freedom of speech, the freedom to make choices. We get to do so many things with our freedom. And I want to really push some buttons, ask some questions, and possibly give some suggestions for you to take a good look on if you're taking advantage of all of those freedoms that we have, and if there's places where maybe you get to consider what your freedoms are and if there's something that you want to do differently. But before we get into that, I want to invite you to go to our website. If you have not joined our community, go and join the community. Go to allthingspossible.biz, again, allthingspossible.biz right here on the screen, and join our community. You get a free gift from us. It's the 7 traits. It's 7 videos of the 7 traits which will change your life. If you will implement these 7 traits, you will see significant change immediately, and it's our free gift to you. So jump on, get on our community, and be able to have access to that. Let's go back to Got Freedom. I love that I live where I live and that I have so many opportunities. The land of the free. We have got so much right at the end of our fingertips, right? We can put our hands on anything we want. We can start our own business. We can choose where we work, choose what we believe, choose where we worship. We can choose if we don't want to worship, right? We aren't forced to do anything. I love that we have the freedoms that we have. I'm grateful for all of the people who have served or paid that price, that ultimate price, to maintain our freedom for where we are. That is very dear to my heart and to me, to have people that are willing to serve and fight and do things for our country. Since we're on that freedom topic, I want you to just kind of look deep inside yourself. Today we're going to talk about, are you taking advantage of those freedoms that are yours and for you to choose, or are you living your life more in bondage and dictatorship and ruling that way? So let's get started. Taking full advantage of the freedoms that we have in our life is going to affect many areas. Many areas of our life are affected by the choices that we make. So the very first thing that I want you to recognize is you are free to choose. There is freedom in choice. Every single thing that we do from the second we get out of bed, right, is a choice. We choose to get up. We choose to go to work. We choose to start a business. We choose to go play. We choose to go on vacation. Everything is a choice, and we are free to choose those choices. So are you making the best choices possible for your freedom, for you to feel free? The times that we don't feel free, we feel chained to something, we feel that heavy weight, it is not a good feeling. It is not a feeling to feel like we have no way out. We're stuck in a box and there's no way out and there's nothing we can do about it. It's so restricting. And yet, a lot of times we create that box or those expectations or those levels ourselves. We create the bondage. And it starts in our head with our thoughts and our beliefs. So what do you believe? Do you believe we have freedom of speech? And do you believe and completely own your voice? Are you owning your voice? Speaking your truth? Or do you feel like there's something that you should be doing that you haven't started, or you're not sure where to start, or you get into a conversation, maybe even a disagreement, and it's easier to swallow it and be quiet than to stand up for what you believe and your freedom? Many times, especially in our relationships, we will bite our tongue and we'll suppress what we really feel we should say. And when we do that, we're being controlled. We're feeling like we're controlled. And there are times when we feel like there's bondage. Are you in a relationship that actually creates that for you, that you feel like you don't have the freedom to say what you feel, or you don't feel that you can. I am all about having relationships work. I'm all about improving relationships. So this is not about, let's check our relationship and see if it's wrong. But it is an awareness that I want you to look at. Because there's so many times in our life that we believe one thing and something else is happening. And we allow that to happen until there's a certain point of pain and we have to stop that. So I want you to think about that piece of it. What are you thinking about? Are you feeling trapped in a box, or do you feel like you're not speaking your truth or living your truth and perhaps not owning your freedom in that choice? The second thing I want you to think about is your emotions, your heart. So many times with the clients I work with when I go speak or when I do an event or a training, I get people that will come and talk to me about, well, I can't help it. I'm depressed and I'm stuck in this situation. I don't know how I can do anything else. I lost my job. I did this. I did that. And the whole time I'm going, are you listening to yourself? I. You are at choice. And a lot of times when we don't feel like we're at choice, we blame something else. Now, there's times that things happen. I used this example, I think just the other day within a presentation, of when my son got cancer the second time and we were faced with that third surgery. It was still a choice for us to choose surgery over not. When it got down to a couple months to live and he's 25, of course we said, okay, we're not beating it. We've got to do this. And we felt like we didn't have a choice, and yet we still chose. We still chose surgery. Every time you are faced with something in your life, there's a choice. And there's a consequence of that choice. When we make a good choice, we see an improvement, which is the consequence. It is what we have coming to us. If the choice that we choose is not very good, then we have a consequence again. So if we choose to hit that snooze button, and if you've seen my integrity, you know all about the snooze button, right? But if we choose to hit the snooze button, and we fall back to sleep and we don't wake up to it again, we're late for work, and was that our choice, or is it the alarm clock's fault? I really want you to look at this. Look into your own life. I know for me, there's 100 different places I can look. None of us are perfect. None of us have all of it together. Some of us do better than others, and there are times in our lives when we all do better than other times. And different pressures affect us differently. But when we can really concentrate on first our thoughts, and are you bound to those thoughts? If you're continually having negative thoughts, I want you to find a way to stop that and have positive thoughts. Put positive thoughts back in. Create what you want to happen. Own your freedom. Freedom of thought is a good one to own. It can be tough at times, but it's a matter of putting in good. If you're having a hard time with that, there's a lot of people you can get help from. There's a lot of self-help books. Reach out, find a mentor. I mentor and teach people all the time. And getting control of our thoughts and then control of our feelings and choosing our choice, choose how we want to feel, our attitude, it's huge. So check in with your beliefs, check in with your attitude and your emotions. Are you living an abundant, free life? Are you enjoying the freedoms that you're given, the opportunities that you have at your fingertips? Are you taking advantage of that? The other one is about clarity and focus. What does freedom really mean to you? Freedom to me is on a day-to-day basis. I get to get up and decide if I'm exercising. I have the freedom to leave from my driveway and go for a walk, or go down to the gym in the basement and exercise on the equipment, or go do stairs, up and down the stairs 100 times. I have so many freedoms and so much choice. I have so many opportunities that it starts from the first second that my feet hit the floor. And in that choice of freedom of that morning ritual that I do, and that I call it the boot up, to boot up your day, start your day the way it needs to, and actually fulfill yourself with energy and that freedom. Be free of feeling like you're not enough or feeling like you're not measuring up. It starts with your confidence and knowing who you are and what you're about. One of the things that has come up for me a couple of times lately is confidence and worry. Confidence and worry cannot coexist. We have to choose. And when we start to worry about things that are happening or worry about things that might happen, I recently have had some things that have felt like premonitions or maybe intuition of some not so great things. And I asked a mentor about this, and I said, this has been coming up and it's kind of been a concern for me. And what do you think? And after listening to the whole thing, he said, it's always good to know that it might be that you're having that intuition or you might have that warning, but it can also be a distraction. A distraction for you to not be all that you can be. Now last year I had a big distraction in my life that really did slow down the momentum, slow down the business, slow things down. And that distraction was important. It was a family situation. It was a family member getting married and a whole lot going on. And my family always comes first. But it definitely was a distraction. I knew I made a choice. I knew I chose to have my family be first. And to step back a little bit from exactly what I was doing in the business and how far I was taking the business right then. And I don't regret that choice because I had the freedom to choose what it would be. When I think about it this year and think where it would be if I hadn't have stepped back, that's when I start to feel bondage. You can't change the past. You can only change how you feel about the past. So we need to move forward. We need to step into our truth, step into our freedom, and be able to move forward. What does freedom mean to you? Freedom to me is that I can think my own thoughts. I can verbalize those. I can choose whatever I want to do. I can put my focus in this direction and go totally forward there. I can put my focus here and go that way, or I can go this way. And sometimes it's like this. We go each way, right? Because of our freedom, we might choose a wrong choice or a distraction or have a squirrel moment even. But I want you to look at your own life. What freedoms do you have that you're not grasping? How often is freedom for you obligation? And how much of the time do you feel obligation to the things that you have because you're free? You chose to have a family. You chose to have a relationship. You chose to live where you live. You chose the occupation. You chose the education. You are choosing how much money you make. You're choosing the relationships that you keep closest to you. Right? Yes, right. We choose all the time. So I want you to embrace freedom. I want you to love the choices that you're making. And if you don't love where you're at, it's time to choose freedom out of bondage and step differently. Let's change that. Grab onto a mentor, grab some help, and change how you feel, because you can have complete freedom. I love that you're here with us on All Things Possible. I believe that all things are possible for everyone. And that starts with freedom. If you don't feel freedom, if you're feeling bondage, if you're feeling trapped, if you're feeling negative, remember it's a choice. And you're free to choose. So choose in, choose your freedom, have a wonderful celebration of the freedom of your country and where you're at, and celebrate that you have freedom. You're free in the land of the free and the home of the brave. Be in the land of the free and the home of the brave of yourself. Love yourself. That is the biggest and best thing you can do. When you master that, you master putting it out there to everyone else. The more you love yourself, the more you can love your country and your fellow man. Thanks for being here with me today. I hope that this gave you something to think about, something to consider. What freedoms am I missing? Look at it and see where you can have more freedom if you chose to. And I love that you're here with us at All Things Possible. If you haven't gone to the website, go to the website, grab those 7 traits, grab that video series, and just take a look at it. I do a lot of things where I teach from what I've learned. Not only have I got education and certifications and all of the rest, but I've also lived through a lot of stuff. And a lot of the things I teach are because I found a different way to get out of that. So jump on, take a look at that, and join us next time here on All Things Possible. See you later. Thanks for being here. Bye-bye.